welcome back on Bernama Today. You're with me, Elaine Abdullah, and in the studio with me today is a special guest. As announced earlier, we have Mr. Yi Soon Wei, the Gallery Director of Purple House in Dubai. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, definitely. We're very glad. May I call you Soon Wei?
Yes, please do.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We are sort of talking about fine art today, and
yes.
For the uninitiated, what is fine art? I mean, a rudimentary term, maybe, or your understanding.
I think I'll try my best to give you a more layman interpretation of what I think fine art could be.
Okay.
I think you could benchmark it against, first and foremost, to set the stage as a form of visual art.
Right, okay.
And visual art, by definition, could be anything from...
photography, visual art too?
Graphic design. These are very popular terms in art today.
Right.
Fashion.
Right.
Fashion is a form of design.
Yeah.
So fine art is, I guess, a person who probably expresses himself through the works and then brings a much deeper interpretation and meaning to how he expresses his work.
Right, okay. A little bit more deep. Has
detail.
depth.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it mean that if you do not see the depth in the picture that you don't understand art?
I would think that is really due to awareness and education.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So that can be learned.
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
You don't have to remain an ignorant all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's appreciation at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, so what we wanted to find out, how thriving is this fine arts in our market, in Malaysia itself? What kind of a stage are we in?
The market is generally still quite young, but in the last 2 or 3 years, it definitely has picked up quite a bit.
Why is that?
I guess basically culturally we've just advanced.
Okay.
People are also engaging more into the art world generally. People can actually search for these things, and availability of galleries are also mushrooming up, and that gives us a chance to actually explore further. I
have this question of whether does someone buy the art because of the supposed investment value that they see in it, or because it's the appreciation for it as an art piece? Or is it just a like buying diamonds, or I see the next person buying it, so therefore I go and buy one?
Yeah. Well, that's quite a loaded question, so I'll try to break it down for you. I think first and foremost, people who buy art would probably be aware about something and therefore wants to explore and then appreciate it. Whether or not a piece is transacted, it's really subjective. It's how that piece speaks to you.
Emotive.
Yes.
Right.
And whether it increases in value over time, the answer is yes, because each piece you buy is unique, like a diamond as well.
Yeah.
And I think a good art collector and investor can see a rough diamond and then see its maturity over time. And to identify these rough diamonds per se, you need to understand the author or the painter's work and understand its versatility as well. Right,
okay, so research and background is necessary in order for you to be able to appreciate the artwork for what it is.
Yes.
I was seeing some pictures on screen right now, and perhaps you can tell us who this is by and what this is all about.
Okay, about a week ago, we launched our third venue space, Purple House Fine Arts.
Where is this?
It's in Jalan Cantik, which is just perpendicular to Jalan Gasing.
Okay, all right. Yeah. MPJ, all right.
Correct. So we launched it with the vision of a prolific pioneering artist who is none other than Lee Ju-fo.
Right, okay.
He's a Penang artist, born in 1929.
Wow.
And as of today, he is still alive and is 83 years old today.
Does he still paint?
He does. But he resides in Australia now, in Melbourne.
I see. Okay, these are current works or a collection of works that he's done over the years?
These are the collection of works. We're showcasing 40 years of his work from 1962 to 2002.
Right. And how many art pieces are on display?
There are 41 pieces.
Okay.
For this exhibition.
Right. And how long will it be? From when to when?
23rd of May to the 30th of June.
So it's currently ongoing?
Yes. And I would encourage you to come and join us and visit.
We will try. Until the 3rd of June, so until this weekend only. Is there...
30th of June.
30th of June?
Yeah.
Okay. Any admission necessary?
No. It's open for all.
Okay.
Yeah. How much something like that cost in terms of, I understand the range of fine art.
Sure. At Lee Ju-fo's exhibition, pieces are sold between 7 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit.
Okay. So and what determines why is it 7 or why is it 28?
There is obviously a few factors. There is size,
there is the year, there is also the series that's involved,
Right.
and also some of the pieces that were previously transacted that sets a price.
Right. Okay. Does the subject matter?
Yes, I think in terms of demand for appreciation is there's something that's obviously easier to absorb or understand.
Right.
I guess supposedly people who come in will be more attracted to that piece.
Right.
And then the demand for that piece particularly increases.
Right. And for the current exhibition, for which is Li Ju 4, what is the main? Is there a technique called to this, or what is his main theme? And I'm sure a lot of artists have certain eccentricities, and they revolve around certain things that they are more passionate about. For Li, what is it?
I think to answer your question, I could probably break it down into two things. First is his style of work.
Yes.
His style
it's very distinctive.
It's very distinctive.
Yeah.
It's very figurative. He uses animals and people to develop expressions and human forms of how he interprets a certain issue or situation.
Very bold as well. The colors seem to
Correct.
come across.
Yeah. I could explain a piece to you if you like.
Okay. Maybe it's hard because the pictures keep flipping. So who are the people that actually buy this? Your targeted buyers or patrons.
Generally, we have collectors, new collectors, and even institutions.
Right.
I guess it's really any person, but a person who carries a different role.
Right.
A person who's collected over many years will come in and identify Li Ju 4 as a pioneering artist, a prolific artist, and want to acquire his work.
Right.
A new collector could be here with his new wife, for instance, and then is trying to look for something for his home,
Right.
and want to see something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm considering whether or not it is something that you would tell people, okay, you should buy this because it is something that it's an investment. Would you say something like that?
We would definitely educate people who come through our doors and ask us, could you tell us a bit about Li Ju 4, his background, his experience, and why you think we should pick up a piece, and we will share as and when that is necessary. Yeah.
We are quite some ways away from the maturity of the US and the European markets.
Correct.
I wonder how do we get there, or how long does it? What do we have to do in terms of the changing of the mindset to be able to achieve that kind of maturity?
That is quite a good question. I think when I studied the US and European markets, we must understand that the fact it started from within, which was education.
Right.
And I think our closest neighbor to this will be Singapore.
Right.
I think you can actually become a curator and have it as a very profitable profession versus in Malaysia, because art is not generally taught heavily in our school.
Correct.
So for anybody who's interested in art would then have to be it has to be motivated from within. We have to develop it ourselves.
Is it a general mindset because of the education system in terms of the social perception of what art is, as in being frivolous or being less than, respected of sorts?
To be fair, I think it was never a real focus.
Right.
But I think the generation today is about human capital
Yes.
and creative output.
Yes.
I think Singapore is a very small country and they need to churn out materials like that.
Right.
And I think Malaysia is starting to pick up. I think we are definitely getting there.
So we have the capabilities of getting there?
Of course, definitely. I mean,
it's fine art for everyone. Will everyone be able to, see the light, so to speak?
Of course, I think anybody who appreciates art has the potential to appreciate fine art. I mean, it's all about awareness, it's all about education, and I guess we have about 3 galleries now.
Right.
And
where are the other 2 galleries?
They're all in the same area in PJ. They're all within the vicinity of Jalan Gasing. So it's all within walking distance.
Right.
So we have a space dedicated to pioneering artists, to young and contemporary artists.
Right, okay.
We have about 200 renowned artists just to showcase our work. And our third space is purely an exhibition space, which we want to curate a lot more shows.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The other question is, talking about investment in fine arts, how should a person, should a person go into buying an art piece thinking it's an investment? Or should you buy because of the value, or should you buy because of you like it, or it speaks to you? I mean, I think there is if someone goes in with the thought of it being something that is a collectible, what should their mindset be?
I think if a person who comes in, he needs to know whether the art market is an investment market to begin with.
Okay.
And we don't know until they come in.
Right.
And generally, I would suggest if it's a very young collector who's just starting out, I would suggest that you should visit galleries and just see what is being traded or being sold in the market, for instance.
Right.
Find out who are the artists that are being well recognized at the moment.
Can you give an example of something that has increased in value that, in terms of investment that somebody could, foresee what is possible?
I think a very good example that I could give you are auction houses that are taking place in Malaysia.
Right.
And this example would be Henry Butcher's art auctioneers.
Right.
I think they've been around for the last 3 years.
Okay.
And based on statistics, in 2011, the most expensive art piece sold was a Abdul Latif Mohidin
Right.
for about $572,000.
Wow, okay. That's quite a lot of money to pay for a piece of artwork.
However, this year, in 2012, which I think the auction ended about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Dato' Ibrahim Hussein's work transacted at $797,000.
Wow, that's really expensive that you can buy a house, a car.
Yes.